There are a staggering number of people with brain fog, memory loss, lack of focus, mental illness, you name it. Today we're talking about how to keep your brain healthy and sharp. Welcome to The Healthy View. I'm Michelle Leota with my co-hosts, Andrea Beeman and Lisa Lutan. We are expert health coaches who've helped thousands of people around the world get happier and healthier while staying sane and having fun. And today we're talking about the staying sane part. Very important. I have a lot to say on this topic, you guys. Brain health is like anything else, right? It doesn't exist in a bubble. It has everything to do with the food we eat, the water we drink, how we move, how we live in the world. So Andrea, start us off. What do you think is the most important when it comes to keeping your brain sharp as a tack?
Well, as you can tell, it really is sharp as a tack. I feel like this is a trick question because, like you said, there's never just one important thing to support the brain. There is so much. But if I'm being forced to pick one, no, I can't really do it. I can't do it. Okay, I'm just going to give you a few things that I believe, or maybe two things that I believe is imperative to optimizing brain health. So the first is sleep and rest. And these are two different things, actually. A good night's sleep is imperative for all bodily functions and for the glymphatic system, which is the cerebral spinal fluid that comes and washes over the brain as you sleep, and it clears out the debris. So we need to have sleep. But and this is a big but, sleep is different than rest. So have you ever met people whose brain is flying all over the place about 100 miles an hour, meaning they jump from activity to activity and thought to thought without taking a breather or a moment in between to rest? So those folks will inevitably crash, meaning the brain will actually just start to shut down. And those are the ones that are like staring off into the distance, right? You see them, they're just, right? That's when the brain has shut down and they're just over there and you're like, hello, anybody home? And it's like, it's different than sleep, because sleep, you're not actively resting. So one of my favorite ways to rest the brain is actually through meditation. And I know that Lisa does this every morning. I do it every morning. I'm pretty sure Michelle does it every morning. It's so important for the health of your brain, or at least sometime during the day. Because when you rest your brain, there's no thoughts. You're giving it an actual timeout, right? So like if you think about what would happen to your physical body if you just continually worked out and worked out and worked out without any rest, it would shut down. So it's the same concept for the brain. We have to rest it. We have to give it periods where it's not, when it's in its awake state, where it's not actually doing anything except resting. And then, of course, I want this to, we have to balance it out. We just can't rest the brain all day long. We need to also stimulate it with activities and stimulating activities to create new neural pathways. So that means taking a new class, playing Scrabble or brain games, creative expression, writing, anything, singing. All of this is stimulating to the brain. So we need to rest. So that's my idea for brain health. Give it a good rest period.
I could not agree with you more, Andrea, on every single point. And I keep thinking about what Tom O'Brien said. He was a guest on the show a couple months ago. And he was like, someone could get cancer and get cured and they come back and they go, I'm better than ever. Or someone could get heart disease and they can make lifestyle changes and start feeling great. And they're like, I'm better than ever. But you never hear about somebody who's had brain issues or dementia or anything like that come back and go, I'm better than ever. It's kind of a one-way ticket. And so that really hit me very profoundly, like how important it is to protect this brain of ours, because it really is like our most important asset if you think about it. So for me, like Andrea, sleep is just a non-negotiable. Did I mention sleep? Yes, sleep. And I'm really happy that sleep is finally getting the respect and recognition that it has deserved for so long. Because for a long time, there were these people walking around like as if it was cool, like, hey, I only need 4 hours. BS, like we need sleep and we need good quality sleep. So that's like definitely number one. Number two is eating right. And there is so much information coming out every day about the relationship between gut bacteria and mental health.
Yes.
And my prediction is they're going to just start looking at mental health in a completely different way over the coming years. Not just anxiety and depression, but even more severe issues in mental health. I've already been hearing more and more functional doctors and naturopaths that are treating mental issues with diet and supplements rather than pharmaceuticals. And so this is super exciting and promising. Other things for our brain: exercise, meditation, what Andrea said, slowing down the brain. And one thing I see so much of the time is when clients come in and they go, I don't understand, like my brain is like crazier than ever. I'm like, have you been on your phone more than usual? And they're like, mm-hmm. And that's it. Our phones, going back with social media, emails, this and this, it's too much for our brains to handle. And we need to take breaks from that and give that brain a rest. Some other things that I notice with my own mental state are, certain foods like gluten might give me brain fog, and alcohol certainly doesn't make me feel good in the brain. And so by paying attention to how different things affect you, maybe by doing an elimination diet or just starting to pay attention more, can be really, really incredibly informational for you. And then the last thing is learning new things. Like I don't do crossword puzzles. I don't do Sudoku or any of those things that they say are good brain exercises. But I do think a lot and I learn new things a lot. So I feel like those are my CrossFit workouts for the brain. It's getting used. It's being challenged all the time. And it seems to work well for me right now.
My goodness, just doing these episodes, our brains get a workout. We're like, wait, we got to hit record, and then what are we doing? And we're always figuring out something new with the technology, right?
Right.
Actually, that means, Michelle, that your brain is actually more stimulated than ours, because me and Lisa are like, okay, Michelle, you take care of it.
It's the truth. Well, I've got a story for you guys about brain health, and it's kind of a sad story, but I think it's an important one to share because this kind of thing is happening all around us and we don't always notice. I recently saw a loved one of mine suffer through a slow decline in brain health and mental health. And at first it was memory loss. Now, we all forget things sometimes. I forget stuff, everyone of course does, no big deal. And this at first didn't seem like a big deal either. You lose your keys, you lose your wallet. Okay, you lost your keys again. Okay, that's weird. Oh, the wallet got lost again. So maybe 3-4 times a week, there's hours spent looking for just like everyday objects. All right, starting to get a little bit different, a little bit maybe not normal. And when I say losing wallets, I mean to the point where like the airline finds it and has to ship it to the house, right? This stuff can be annoying, but I think because it's not life-threatening, it doesn't seem severe. What are you going to do about it? No one's going to go to their doctor because they keep losing their keys, right? Well, that progressed. And one day, this family member of mine forgot all about his son's birthday party. Just forgot. And when he remembered, got in the car, but couldn't find the party. It was in the same town, the same place, didn't have to go anywhere crazy. And he knew where it was. He could, speak out loud, like this is where the party is, but couldn't find it. Never showed up. It progressed further and things just got worse. And what I saw was that it's very hard for someone to notice their own brain health problems because, by definition, their own brain is the problem, right? So how can they notice it? It gets all meta. And I think that's where you get into some really tricky, like dicey territory. But what was really killing me about the whole thing was that this family member of mine, who I love dearly, was drinking soda, eating McDonald's, never exercising, watching a lot of TV, to your point, Lisa, constantly on the iPad. I mean, it's just a recipe for disaster. So what I want to tell everyone is that if you're experiencing a little brain fog, some memory problems, even, you're having trouble locating, what's the word? Those moments where you're like, it's right on the tip of my tongue, but I can't. I mean, that could be your thyroid. It's really incredible. But I want you to take note now while you're still able to recognize the problems. Like now would be the time to put into action what we've talked about today. What you eat, how you live, how much you rest, even the chemicals that you're exposed to, that is huge. The emotions that you either process or you bottle up inside, it all has to do with keeping your brain healthy and sharp. So don't wait. Now's the time.
Very wise advice. So I want to thank all of your beautiful brains for joining us today. Make sure you don't miss any episodes of The Healthy View by subscribing to us on iTunes. And while you're there, stimulate your brain and please leave us a review. We would love that. Also, you can sign up for our mailing list at healthyviewshow.com, and we will send you one email per week announcing the newest episode. So now get some rest, and we'll see you next time.